All right, hi everybody. It is Friday night. It is January the 17th. It is a warm night out there. It's been a warm day, but that is all about to change. We've been telling you all week long about this Arctic outbreak coming our way, and it's finally moving in starting on Sunday. But first, we have some rain to get through, which is going to arrive as we speak through the night and then continue during the day Saturday. So again, if you're watching this later, if you're watching it live, welcome. But if you're watching this delayed, of course, this is on Friday evening. So please understand that. And we'll, of course, be watching the weekend forecast as we move along. Let me make sure I can see our comments here from folks joining in. Oh, there we go. William from Grundy County watching. Hey, William. Glad to see you here on this Friday evening. It's a little bit late for this tonight, but we're going to be joining our News Channel 9 broadcast coming up at about 11 o'clock. But this will be just for a brief little while, kind of explain what's going on for the weekend. So we see our numbers growing here, but I want to show you again what's going to happen this weekend. And we'll start with the showers moving in right now. And I'll show you the radar coming up. It's going to be a very wet evening, kind of dampish during the day on Saturday, off and on showers, and then the cold air on Sunday. So we'll have highs on Saturday back to the 50s. It was 58 today, almost 60. That was very spring-like considering what's coming our way. And then the Arctic air arrives on Sunday. Now, there will be some flurries, light snow showers. I do anticipate that. And I think you'll see it in the higher elevations. I think you'll see some flurries in the valley. But as far as accumulation, I think the better chance, the usual high elevated spots, half inch or so, just very light in those areas, not like what we had last week. All right. And then we're going to spend several days below freezing, not just below freezing at night, but we're talking about days below freezing. That's going to be a big problem. Dangerously cold coming up with wind chill values for some areas down into the single digits. That's going to be Sunday night, Monday morning. So these are the temperatures as of the 10 o'clock hour. And again, we're seeing temperatures right now, mostly upper 40s, low 50s, which is close to the average high for this time of year. We'll take it. Southerly wind coming in, a lot of clouds out there, but again, rain starting to show up to the west, and the air's still really dry. So that initial bit of rain is evaporating, drying out, but then eventually the air mass becomes more saturated, and then we get more rain coming in. And we'll start seeing that as the night goes on. So there's the radar view. And again, I can point out that leading edge of rain you see right there, parts of Sequatchie, northern Hamilton. Yeah, that's not reaching the ground yet. You might see some sprinkles, but our dew points are still in the 20s. It's real dry. But you get back here over Franklin, Marion, and Scottsboro to Fort Payne. That's where the rain's starting to reach the ground there. And it's also a bit of a larger massive rain, which pretty much going to take over overnight. It'll do a lot to maybe wash all that salt off the road that's been with us for all past week. And some areas, I've seen it all around town, there's still patches of snow and areas that have yet to really melt away. This will help. Okay. So that rain's continue coming in from the south and west throughout the night. Nothing severe with it, but some pretty moderate downpours west of Huntsville, back west of Nashville, north of I-40. And you see the southerly wind kicking in. So temperatures above average overnight, only easing back to the 40s. Some of the main higher peaks, and you'll see it on our future track, you get about 4,000 feet into the Smoky Mountains. That's where a mix could happen, like Mount LeConte, farther up toward Newfound Gap. That's where you may see some of that. But everybody else, mainly rain tonight and rain throughout the day on Saturday. So here's our weather maker, or weather makers for the weekend. We got this area low pressure here pushing the rain our way. Back behind it's going to pull down that bitterly cold air, and that'll start coming in as we go toward late tomorrow night and early in the day on Sunday. And then it's just cold, flat out cold after that point. So we are weather alert for this period because of the bitter cold that's going to be out there. As I mentioned, it's going to be dangerously cold. A long period of time below freezing. We're talking 72 to 96 hours, a 3-4 day period where we stay below freezing. So it all gets started on Sunday during the day. And we'll talk about some of the snowflakes early on, but this is the bigger story, the temperatures. Wind chills will be in the single digits at times, for some near zero as you go towards Sunday night, Monday morning. Highs are going to stay in the 20s, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for some in the valley, just barely above freezing. But for others, it may take till Thursday for temperatures get above freezing near the 40-degree mark. So definitely you need to make those precautions around your house. You got tomorrow to do so. It'd be kind of damp outside to do that, but be sure those pipe covers and pipe insulation you got to do. making sure you change your filter and your heating system, make sure you're heating your home safely, and don't forget your pets. Bring them inside and do like we do. We have some stray cats around our neighborhood. They are easily scared, but they're looking for food and shelter. So we've provided an extra shelter out on our back porch, styrofoam container protected from the wind. It's got a blanket in it. And we've noticed many of the cats kind of using that the past couple of nights. So if you know you've got animals around, need a shelter, provide a shelter for them because it is going to be bitterly, bitterly cold coming in. So let's talk about through the night tonight. Off and on periods of rain. Notice temperatures don't drop much through 5, 6 a.m. And I really think tomorrow morning, Saturday, pretty good chance of rain early in the day, pretty decent coverage. But notice what happens here as we go toward the afternoon, there are more breaks. So there'll be periods of time, some long stretches where it's just cloudy, but still some light rain, drizzle, some fog around. And temperatures are high as upper 40s and low 50s. So by 5:15 Saturday, that's it for any warmth. And then it all drastically starts to change. This takes us to the overnight hours into Sunday morning. This is as the Arctic front passes by. So our high temperature will actually be early in the day at Sunday, after sunrise, mid-30s. And that wind picking up, it'll never feel like it's above freezing. And there will be some pockets of flurries of snow showers around. Again, this is not the major accumulating type. It is for parts of the plateau. I do anticipate some of that, and even our local mountaintops, maybe just a little bit of a dusting there, but amounts going to be generally light. But don't be surprised to see that, the higher elevated areas. Also keep in mind that with temperatures below freezing, watch for slick spots. If you have plans to travel to Gatlinburg this weekend, Gatlinburg, Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, those areas, more sustained snow showers on Sunday, little accumulation there. I think the main roads will probably be okay because they treat them up there, but keep that in mind if you can be traveling that way. That's where you see more significant during the day Sunday. For us, through lunchtime, afternoon, again, sporadically flurry snow showers around, so don't be surprised. But this is about late afternoon. Temperatures will be mainly in the 20s. The wind is going to feel like the teens by late day. Then we go through Sunday night, Monday morning. That's when the wind chills will be in the single digits, temperatures in the teens, and throughout the day on Monday, it doesn't get any better. Highs only in the mid to upper 20s, and it stays that way through Tuesday. Now, we've been tracking throughout the week what will happen for next week, and I've provided some daily updates regarding any storm systems coming in, but you probably notice I don't do it every model run. Because if I updated you every model run for the past 5 days, it would drive you crazy. It really wouldn't provide you any information. Because what we have to do is get this first system that we have tonight out of the way, then start to see how storms track along the Gulf Coast. And that's why, again, models have been all over the place during the week, but now starting to hone in on a pretty good storm track for Tuesday, Wednesday, not for us, but for areas very unusual to see some snow. Yeah, areas far to the south of us. Let me show you a couple of models here. This is the European model. And it's been fairly consistent with the storm tracks showing a low well offshore off the Gulf Coast. But if this model were correct, okay, you got a pretty good swath of snow south of Birmingham and Atlanta. That's south of I-20 and farther south toward the Gulf Coast, Pensacola, Mobile, New Orleans, and eventually towards, say, Jacksonville. That storm track stays well south of us, but it's something that can provide, some wintry precipitation for a while at Jacksonville, Savannah, Charleston, up along the Carolina coastline. But it all stays mainly south of us unless that storm track changes. Now, of course, that's something we'll watch the next couple of days. Does that storm track move north? Well, we'll have to wait and see. But for now, that high pressure over us, that Arctic high, is so strong it's suppressing into that moisture far to the south. And that's a lot of times what happens. We have a very strong Arctic air mass like that. But nevertheless, we have to watch that. And that's through Wednesday, and it keeps us dry through Thursday and early Friday. Okay, so that's the European model. GFS model, about the same thing. Let's see to update that. There we go. This is also for the same time frame, Tuesday. Now notice again, it's got a little bit farther north of some of the leading edge of that moisture. So I think on Tuesday for us, it's going to be cloudy and cold. I'll include a few flurries for our southern counties, but I still really don't think we're going to see a whole lot of moisture from this unless that storm track changes. I mean, it's Friday. We're looking out, 4 days from now. But if this model were correct, it would stay mainly flurries for us at best south, but mainly all that moisture staying far to the south, south of Atlanta, south of Birmingham, and again favoring those areas over South Georgia, southern parts of South Carolina, It brings mainly a cold rain to the Gulf Coast as opposed to the European, but nevertheless, unusual areas to be seeing a lot of this moisture. And again, once we're past Wednesday, we see a little rebound in temperature, maybe some flurries flying around late into Thursday, Friday. But that's just something to keep a close eye on as we go through the week. Again, for us, unless that storm track changes, the high pressure suppresses the moisture. We stay cold and dry, although clouds will come in on Tuesday. First things first. This is for Saturday, off and on periods of rain, 40s to around 50 as the day goes on. I think the coverage is really high early in the day, and then kind of breaking up, just scattered light showers later on into the day. Let me show you one other thing here. I'm going to make the screen look a little bit different here. I was going to show you some of the ensemble models that we use. The ensembles show a little bit in the way of, this is the European ensemble as far as snow through Tuesday, Wednesday. Again, it keeps it far to the south of us. But again, it brings potentially some snow showers way down there. So, again, New Orleans, Mobile, Savannah, Valdosta, places like that, potentially seeing some snow. Again, that's the ensemble model. That's just not one model run, it's several model runs. And I tend to favor the view of an ensemble than one model run. Then we go to the GFS. It's about the same way. Even though it showed a few flurries in our southern counties, still the main chance of anything accumulating is farther down to the south. So that just kind of gives you an idea of what we're kind of looking at with those models moving forward, and while we kind of look at the ensembles here, but it kind of honing into that storm track, saying far to our south Tuesday and Wednesday. So, kind of interesting to watch, especially for those areas far to the south that don't get it all that often. It's really nuts. And for us, of course, getting this cold air is, we get it occasionally during the wintertime, but when you go 3-4 days below freezing, that's just bitterly, bitterly cold. All right, we'll move this off screen, move that back. So let me show you the 7-day forecast real quickly. And again, I got in red the weather alert days, for Sunday, Monday, because that's when the abrupt change takes place. Now, again, do note the flurries, light snow showers during the day on Sunday. Again, a little light accumulation in those usual higher elevated spots. But again, the snow's not the big story. The big stories are cold. 37s early in the day will be below freezing late day, staying below freezing through here. Look at these morning lows down to the teens. This will be the coldest feeling morning because of the wind chill. And I think we're going to see more clouds Tuesday. I've got the flurry chance there, mainly south. But again, it's not at this point significant. I think we'll have more clouds. May make it to 30 with that added moisture in the air, but we'll see. Wednesday, we may get temperatures just above freezing in some spots. Higher elevations may stay below that. And then finally, by Thursday, Friday, getting a little bit more above the freezing mark. For now, we'll keep it mainly dry, but it's a week from now. We'll keep an eye on the storm tracks on the system after that Gulf coastal system moves on by. So hopefully that gives you kind of an outline of what we're watching here for the next several days. I mean, as I mentioned, take those precautions and get ready for this bitter, bitter cold to move in. I want to thank those of you who've been on here watching with your comments. Thanks to William, thanks to Lana, Patricia, Tina, Penny, Sheila, and Diane saying they still have some snow and the ice there in eastern Polk County. I bet you do. And there's many areas. I know where I live on Missionary Ridge, we have some areas protected by the sun on the north side of the ridge. Looks like the snow never melted. So there's still some areas and pockets like that. They'll wash away with the rain tonight through tomorrow, and it'll wash away some of the salt. But again, the bitter cold is coming back. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bill Royce will be here this weekend. He'll keep you updated, and I'll have more updates when necessary. But be prepared to no longer roll up the sleeves. It'll be time to add more layers and stay warm. All right. Please join me on News Channel 9 at 11. You can also like my Facebook page, like my YouTube page for more content. And as always, the Storm Track 19 will keep you updated. Have a great night, everybody. Stay safe, stay warm this weekend.